day to you. How are you doing today? Welcome to my channel. Today we are continuing our series on how to make money from real estate investment. I identified 10 ways through which one can make money from real estate investment. The rationale behind this series is that one, by the end of it, one will be able to at least have one or two areas where he or she can invest in real estate. There's this notion that real estate investment is only for rich people, and I totally disagree with this. By the time we finish this 10 series on how to make money from real estate, one will be able to see the opportunities there and identify one or two places where he or she can play very big in the industry. So in part one, we looked at real estate development and we saw all the opportunities there. Why there's a higher return on investment in real estate development, it requires a lot of work and it requires more capital. So today in part 2, we'll be looking at real estate investment trust. So our topic today is how to make money from real estate investment. Part 2, real estate investment trust, REITs. So what is real estate investment trust? Real estate investment trusts are companies that own, operate, finance income generating real estate across various property sectors like shopping centers, residential housing, hospitals, parking, garages, hotels, and many more. Real estate pulls a capital of numerous investors together and make it possible for individuals to earn dividends from real estate investment without having to buy, manage, or finance any real estate themselves. So what I'm basically saying here is that while other real estate investment vehicles will require you physically participating in it, in real estate investment trust, you practically do not have to do anything yourself. All you need to do is to invest your money and your money will be working for you. This is particularly very useful for career people who are working, they are very busy, they will not be able to buy property, manage it themselves, and do all the things involved in acquiring and managing properties. So what are the types of real estate investment trusts? One, we have equity real estate investment trusts. These people, they purchase, hold, and manage commercial and rental properties. They generate major revenue by renters. Another type of real estate investment trust is mortgage REITs. So they do not purchase, own, or manage properties. They only invest through mortgage on real estate. And then you have the hybrid real estate investment trust, which is a combination of equity and mortgage real estate investment trust. So these are the types. It's very important that you understand the types so that you know the one that will suit your needs and make informed decision why you want to invest in real estate investment trust. What are the benefits of investing in real estate investment trust? Number one, diversification of portfolio. REITs managers invest in different real estate class, residential, commercial, or industrial. This helps in times of economic downturn. So what I'm basically saying here is that if you are investing in real estate investment trust, the REIT managers, they don't just put the whole of your fund inside one real estate asset, because if they do that, it will be very risky. Let's say they are putting the whole money in a commercial real estate. We all recall what happened during the COVID-19 pandemic, how some commercial properties were vacant for a very long time because of lockdown and all that. So imagine that a real estate investment trust, most of their investments were in commercial properties. It will be a very, very big problem for them. So the REIT managers, they are experienced and they invest in different types of real estate assets to protect their investors. Then number 2 is liquidity. REITs are traded on the floor of Nigerian Stock Exchange and other country stock exchange. Is something that you can buy just as you are buying stocks. So this makes it very, very liquid. And with that, it means that if you have a REIT, let's say you bought REIT on the floor of an exchange, it means that you can sell it when you want. You can buy and sell at will, but you should also know that this does not give you opportunity to fix your price. If you want to sell your real estate investment trust shares, it means you have to be guided, you have to be controlled by market forces. It depends on what the market is going at that very particular day. Unlike when you have your own property, you can say, okay, this is my property, I want to sell it so and so amount. You put it on the market, you follow all the processes and wait till somebody come and buy at your price. So this is one of the basic difference of owning REITs and owning property of your own. Then high return in investment. If you compare real estate investment trust to normal stock, the return on investment is higher. By law, especially in Nigeria, real estate investment trusts are mandated to share 90% of their income, that's after tax, to shareholders. So if you compare it to normal stock, the return on investment on real estate investment trust is higher. Then we have talk about price stability. So the price of real estate investment trust shares on the floor of the exchange is more stable. It is not, though it's still subject to market volatility, but it is not like other normal company stocks. So real estate investment trust, the prices are more stable on the floor of the exchange. Then convenience. So if you are investing in real estate investment trust, just as I said before, it is very, very convenient, because just like I'm facing my computer now, I'll log into my stockbroking account. I can buy real estate investment trust. I can sell as well. It is very, very convenient. Compare it to, let's say you want to buy a house. You know all the processes. You have to verify the paper. You have to do the due diligence. All the processes, even after you buy documentation, transferring the property to you, all this does not apply if you are playing on real estate investment trust. Then lastly, lower capital requirement. If you want to play in real estate investment trust, you don't need as much capital as you need as somebody who is buying a physical property of his or her own. Even here in Nigeria, with as little as 5,000 Nigerian naira, you can be a player in the real estate sector through real estate investment trust. So what are the drawbacks of investing in REITs? As I always say in my previous videos, for any business at all, there's always 2 R. The first R is reward, and the second one is risk. So each of the investment vehicle comes with its own rewards and its own risk and challenges. So what are the drawbacks of investing in REITs? 1, exposure to market volatility. As I said before, if you want to sell your share of real estate investment trust, you must sell within the market price. It is not like you have your property today, you say, okay, I want to sell it, this is the amount. No, it's the market dynamics on the floor of the exchange that will determine how much you will sell your share. Then lack of control on property decision. You have, if you invested in REITs, you have a property, quite all right, but you don't have control over decision on the property. Let's say you want to sell. You cannot do that. It is the real estate investment trust managers that determine when to buy, when to sell, the one they put on rate and stuff like that. So you don't have control on the property. You have a share of the property, quite all right, but you don't have control over it. Then management fees. The risk managers, they will charge you fees. All their running costs as a company, everything they are doing, it has to come through proceeds from your investment. Unlike maybe you have a property, you say, okay, I have the time, I want to manage this property on my own. I don't want to hire a property manager. This does not apply if you are using risk as a vehicle. Then dividends are taxed as regular income. So your dividends when you invest in risk is taxed as normal income. It's one of the drawbacks of investing in real estate investment trust. Global perspective on real estate investment trust. Global market value of REITs as at 2023 is about $1.7 trillion. United States of America has the largest share. 8 of the biggest REITs by market capitalization are in the United States. About 145 million people in US invest in REITs. So what I'm basically saying here is that real estate investment trust in a country like United States is very well developed. People know much about it. It's very, very popular, and it's a very big vehicle people use to build wealth in that climb. You can imagine about 145 million people investing in it. So 8 of the biggest real estate investment trusts in the world, they are all in the United States of America. Some of them are Prologis, Equinix, American Tower, Wealth Tower, Simeon Property, Digital Realty, Public Storage, and Realty Income. These are big real estate investment trusts, and they are all in US. Real estate investment trust in Nigeria. So risk market in Africa is about $29 billion. Nigerian share of risk market value is small, with only 3 real estate investment trust company listed on the floor of the Nigerian exchange. These 3 real estate investment trusts, their total market capitalization is about 50 billion Nigerian naira. So if you compare it with what is obtainable in the developed client, you find out that the real estate investment trust business in Nigeria is not yet well developed. So by law, REITs in Nigeria must pay 90% of their taxable profit to shareholders. For REITs to be traded on Nigerian Stock Exchange, they have to follow the listing and registration process. Just like any other company that's being listed on the floor of the exchange, they have to follow the procedure, undergo the screening before they are listed on the exchange. So, which are the companies that the REIT company in Nigeria? So, one, you have UPDC Real Estate Investment Trust. This is one of the biggest real estate investment trusts in Nigeria. They are very reliable. They are traded on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. As I said before, you can, if you have a stockbroking account, you can buy their shares on the floor of the exchange. You can buy and sell at will. You can either buy for long-term investing or you buy for trading purposes. Trading purposes means you are just interested in trading. Once you buy the share and the value appreciates, you can sell it and go with your profit and invest in other assets. You can also decide to be a long-time investor with them. So another one is SFS Real Estate Investment Trust. They also traded on the Nigerian Stock Exchange and is one of the oldest. It's established around 1970, and their market capitalization as of January 2025 is about 3.589 billion naira. So these are the real estate investment trust. These are the two. Then the third one is Union Homes Real Estate Investment Trust. It's established by Union Homes Savings and Loans PSC. It was established around 2008 and is also traded on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So market capitalization as at January 24, 2025 is about 9.15 billion naira. So these are the three real estate investment trusts that are listed on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. For somebody who want to play in the industry, this is the opportunity. You can trade with any one of them. They have been, as you can see from their history, they have been established for a very long time, and they are very, very reliable. In fact, there was a time I wanted to buy a SFS Real Estate Investment Trust. I placed an offer on the stock exchange, but I could not see it to buy. So that goes to show you that people who have the shares, they did not put it up for sale. And why is that so? Because the share of the company is very, very stable, and people mostly invest on them for long-term investment. People who had the share at that particular time were not willing to sell it. So if you are a career person, you want to play in real estate, but you don't have the time, this is a vehicle that you can use to participate in real estate investment business. As I said before, I totally disagree with the notion that it's only very rich people that can participate in real estate. You just need to identify one area where you as an individual can play your part. You can buy the share of any of these real estate investment trusts with just as little as 5,000 naira. So challenges of real estate investment trust in Nigeria. What are the challenges that these real estate investment trusts face? One, lack of public awareness. Many people do not know about real estate investment trust and the capabilities it has to generate wealth. The awareness of real estate investment trust in this our climate is still very, very low. Then, difficulty in procuring and processing land titles. Just like any individual, maybe a developer or corporate organization, the challenges people face in buying real estate assets in Nigeria, these companies also face it. Remember that their business is basically buying real estate assets and trying to use it to generate money for shareholders. And in their own case is more complex because they are dealing with funds that were put together by a lot of people. So if you are in that kind of business, you really need to be very, very careful on choosing your investment. They have to do proper diligence in buying properties, because if anything happens and the deal goes wrong, it involves a lot of people's money, and somebody may just be the entire of his or her saving that he invested in the company. So like every other person, they are facing challenges of processing land title, verifying property title properly is one of their challenges. Then weak regulatory frameworks. So there are some regulations that are supposed to be in place to help them operate normally, but some of these regulations, either they are there or in the course of implementation, they are very, very weak. But despite these challenges, the Nigerian ever-growing housing deficit presents opportunity for investors to build wealth through real estate investment trusts. What I'm basically saying here is that despite the fact that we have challenges, the market is evolving and it presents a lot of opportunity. It presents a lot of opportunity because of what? Currently, our housing deficit is estimated at around 20 million houses. So, real estate investment trust could be one of the vehicles to use that one can use to bridge that gap. And in doing that, it creates opportunity for people to invest in the business. But for them to do that, there's need for awareness, there's need for government to put some measures in place so that the operation will be seamless, because as I said before, the business involves a lot of capital and involves pulling people's resources together. So this is where we draw the curtain today into in real estate investment trust, how we can use it to make money. This is the end of our part 2 of a series on how to make money from real estate investment. So in the next series, part 3, we will look at how one can be a real estate broker and use it as an instrument to build wealth for him or herself. Then, what partnership opportunity with Demand Group? As a real estate development company based in Abuja, Nigeria, we can help you acquire real estate assets like land, residential house, commercial property. We can help you sell your property. We can carry out design and obtain building plan approval for you if you already have land. Then we can also take consultancy services on how you can manage your real estate development project. Let's say you have done all the processes, you have gotten a site, you want to manage it very well so that the project will be a success. We can be of a very big help. So please contact the number on the screen, visit our website, or contact us through the social media handle. Please, if this video has made sense to you, can you please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that each time I release a video like this, a high net worth individual like you will be the first person to be notified. Thank you for watching this video. Remain blessed.